Warning! This podcast will rocket you into the knowledge and wisdom intended to inspire, influence, and impact you to lead a Christian Rocketeers organization. Let's honor the sacrifice Christ the Son died to give you by leading the life and nonprofit God has called you to well. God is doing great and amazing things in the heavens and on earth. Let's tap into His wisdom and reach for the stars together.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Christian Rocketeers podcast, where we impart, inspire, influence, and impact your nonprofit. Today, as I said in the intro, I have my friend Tia. She is from a wonderful organization called One Wing of Hope. And today we're going to dive into how she became a nonprofit leader, where God has called her to serve, and where He's taking her to next. We're going to talk about the struggles that you face as a nonprofit leader, because we all know the journey isn't easy. But we're also going to tell you about the victories as well, because she's got many miracle stories. We've also got a special guest all the way from Uganda who may or may not sing something for us. So let me grab her. Good morning, Tia.
Hello. You doing
How
well?
are you? How are you in beautiful Tennessee? How's the weather over there?
Today it's a little cloudy and chilly, but it's not freezing, so I can do that.
Yeah, I'm freezing in Florida. I don't know why. I think it's like 43 down here. And
wow.
Even though I'm from the north, I'm like, this is an ice box. And my husband's laughing at me because he's like, this is shorts weather. And it's awesome. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm cold. Give me my blankets and my sweater. And so, yeah, he's laughing at me. Today, we're going to talk about your wonderful organization and how the Lord led you to this amazing country of Uganda to help these incredible people. So why don't you give us a deep, quick dive of, who you are, your name of your organization, and who you are and how you do it.
Okay. Well, I'm Tia Boner, and my husband and I are founder and CEO of One Wing of Hope. One Wing of Hope, our objective is to teach people about Jesus first and foremost, and then to go wherever He would have us go. And in my life, I've always been drawn to anything to do with Africa. And it didn't matter where. I didn't know where. I just knew that someday I would have to go and see that place, that wonderful place. And so about 16 years ago, a gentleman came to our church, and he was from Kampala, Uganda. And he introduced me to another pastor from Jinja, Uganda. And I became very involved with his organization over there. And we just followed him and helped him with his children in his orphanage. And I was umbrellaed under another person. And we decided that, the Lord was calling us to have our own organization. And people often ask me why it's One Wing. And my favorite saying of all time, it's just the most heartfelt thing I've ever known. I found a little card when I was about 16, and it's from Luciano di Crescenzo, and it says, "We're all angels born with one wing, and we cannot fly unless we embrace each other." So everything in my life is, my photography business is One Wing Photography. And of course, it's to be One Wing. And we have now 12 wings within our organization. From all of the guys with the harmonics, they all have wings that they take care of. My partner, Resty, she has 3 wings. Our driver has his wing, and it's each person, it's their village or their area in the slums or the ghettos in Uganda. And, the people that they know and interact with, these are children that are in our program and mothers that are in our program, people we know and love and touch and visit and see. We're not like other organizations where we just want people to give us money and we'll let you know about this family. No, we encourage you not only to, if you are sponsoring a family or a child or a school or travel for the harmonics, we encourage you to be involved with them. We encourage you to get your passport and come with us. walk with us and go and visit your children. We know them. We can take you to them. We can introduce you to them face to face. And we just absolutely have seen so many miracles, one after the other. Every time I go there, they've kept something that they want to share with me when I get there as a surprise. We have a doctor that now is involved, not only there, he's on the ground there. He takes care of all of our children. He visits the villages and the ghettos and gives them, inoculations. He gives them food. He gives them vitamins. And his wonderful wife, she takes them all clothes. And he has helped so many of our sick people, including a gentleman that has been lying on the ground for 15 years. He has helped us get him a wheelchair and get him off the ground. And he just has been an absolute miracle. And just through him, my personal doctor and my personal eye doctor have said, what can we do to help you? And what can we send? What can we do? Well, come with me. That's what you can do. Come with me. And so now we have 2 from here that are considering going. We have many sponsors, but we also have many children that need sponsors. And we have right at 300 children at this point.
That's incredible. That's incredible that you have 300 kids. So when you say a wing, what is all under? Because I know you have a lot of people that help you in an organization, and I love that. Just give us a glimpse of what one wing looks like.
A glimpse of what one wing looks like would be, say, Resty, my partner. She has a village over there, the one where the gentleman, Francis, was lying on the ground. They also have a very large number of children in that village, and that is Resty's wing. And a lot of organizations call them cells. This is a cell over here. This is a cell over there. But because we're one wing, we have wings. This is Resty's wing. This is Benji's wing. Henry's wing. Everybody, and they are personally responsible for making sure to check in with them, to add any more children. I've been told by Dr. Tony in Uganda, no more kids. I'm not the one to say that to, because I can't not accept a child that wants to come into the knowledge of Jesus Christ and get an education. And just like Benji said, when they did our first video, the Harmonics did, they said, when you change a life, you have changed a generation. And I have found that to be absolutely true. So that has become kind of what we live by, even if we only change this one child is going to go out and impact and talk about it and grow up and make a change. And that's all that needs to happen, is that one person make a difference in one person's life, one person save one. And then, we've got 300, so we've got one
and
for
that's
everybody.
our philosophy as well over at Mercy's Light, a light in the darkness. You change and transform one life, and you change and transform. I love that we're so in line with that. The idea for your organization kind of came in your head that you were going to start a nonprofit was around 2010?
Yes, about 2010. Otherwise I just wanted to work under somebody else to help their ministry grow. But the Lord kept pulling me to do this myself, and I never felt ready. I never felt that I'm not a leader. I constantly make the comment that I'm a kingmaker, not a king, and I prefer it that way. I really prefer it that way, and I've never wanted to be a leader or a founder of a ministry, but the Lord continued to say no. But Lord, I want to work with these, but no. But Lord, I want to help. No, you're going to do this on your own. And so with my husband standing behind me 100% of the way, and just partnering with me, the Lord has just put so many people in my path that it's undeniable that He has called us to do what we do. And I get tired. I question the Lord constantly, and I wonder if I'm the right person because things aren't moving as quickly as I would like
Yeah.
them, or things aren't falling into place as quickly as I would like them. Or, of course, funds are short, and, we work hard to fill our war chest, and then all of a sudden, boom, it has to be emptied because of some tragedy or something that's going on
Mm-hmm.
there. And I feel like, well, if I don't have an abundance of money, how can I have a nonprofit? And the Lord has made it abundantly clear that it's not about having an abundance of money. It's
Mm-hmm.
about having an abundance of compassion and an abundance of Him.
Yeah.
And
That
so,
relationship with him is what brings the finances. I love that verse of how the Lord owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. And I always
mhm,
go to like Psalms 23 when I'm struggling with finances, because the pasture that the sheep were in was lush and green. And that's for us, that lush, green, rich pasture, that's for us. And he just leads and guides us to where
yes,
to get those funds and opens those
mhm,
doors. And I love that so much. So you didn't actually get your organization founded until 2015. So that's a lot of prep work, 5 years in between there. You've talked about that 5 years was a back and forth struggle with God of like, hey, God, I'm going to
yeah,
do this. No, I'm back. I've been there too, of that push and pull. So how did you get to the point where you were like, okay, God, surrender?
yeah.
I'm all in.
Um, well, my first trip, and actually, I still continued to work under another person for a little while, and the Lord just continued to push. So in 2021, I went to Uganda with a group of people, and the gentleman that I had been involved with for a number of years over there, um, he has outgrown our ministry, and he is standing firm now. And the Lord just continued to introduce me to people within a family that I just fell in love with, and it all grew from there. And then, of course, the harmonics came, and the Lord said, okay, I need you out from under this umbrella. I need you to be obedient, and I need you to get yourself your 501c3. And then all of that paperwork began. And so that's how we are here today with all of that, and with so many people that have encouraged us, so our friends, our family, and just people I don't know that have asked me, how can I help? And
Yeah.
so
It's
that's
so
what we're.
awesome how God brings those people alongside you, those
Mm,
partners to help you further the mission. We've had that as well. So, what has been your biggest struggle? You talked about some of the emotions as you grew. What's been your biggest struggle, and how do you overcome that struggle when you face it?
my biggest struggle is board members and finances. That's the biggest struggle. It seems that we're always doing a fundraiser, and always looking small and looking at the now. And I've been following some of your things about not looking at just the now, but you have to look at the bigger pictures. And that is it. Just following you guys has helped me to have an understanding of speaking my truth and speaking what I need.
I've
People
seen
that
that in your post. I've kind of seen that shift in your post of how you've just grown, and I love that so much, and I love our connection. How do you refuel when it gets hard? Because I know I've been there as a nonprofit leader. The journey, I've had moments where I want to hide under the covers, and I'm like, God, I'm not doing this anymore.
yeah.
The spiritual attacks are too strong. And where do you go to refuel?
I go to refuel, of course, first with God, but then, we're created for fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
And, the Lord went into a secret place. And I believe that's important, that we go into a prayer closet and we go into a secret place. But also, I firmly believe that we are to reach out to people that are our elders or people that have been there and done that, and people that understand what we're going through, and be around like-minded people. I will go into a quiet place for a little bit, and then I come out and I fellowship, because I'm a very social person. I'm not one that just hangs out without socializing with people. And I find that when I do that, that pulls me further into a place of just wanting to stop or wanting to give up. And it never, ever fails that when I am at that place, and I want you to know that I've been right there in the last, even recently as this last week. And then when you reached out to me, I said, okay, I see you, Lord. Yeah, I'm to come out of this closet that I'm in. And, yes, he loves time with us. He loves spending time with us, but we can only stay in a time of begging him or just pleading with him. We have to go and find other people that understand what we're going through, and he will send the right people. And so for me, it's fellowship with him and fellowship with others that brings me, it never fails. I will get something from someone, a word from God. You're doing a great job. I see what you're doing. I see your struggle. I see what you're going through. So that's it for me. It's fellowship. I have a book that I absolutely love, and it was one I found in the little bin outside of the bookstore that they were just trying to get rid of, and it's called Loving Each Other. And it's a psychologist, a Christian psychologist, and all through this book, it is about fellowship. And then I try to remember how many times the word says that we are to fellowship.
I think about during, COVID, when we couldn't fellowship together and we had to stay apart, and how so many people struggled during that time because we couldn't meet together, and how fellowship is so key. And a lot of people aren't going back to church, and they're not, they're like,
Right.
oh, I can watch the screen. But it's not the same when you watch a screen. There's so much power in being in a room with people who love Jesus, who are in the same place that you're in, but know that their full dependence is on him. It's not relying on yourself and your abilities, but it's relying on him and his ability to work in you and through you. And in that, there's so much peace. There's so much joy. We're commissioned as believers to encourage one another as we see the day approaching.
Absolutely.
So we need to make sure that we are encouraging one another, that we are saying, hey, I know you're struggling. Can I pray for you? Hey, I saw this post and you need money. Can I reach out and donate? Even if it's small, folks, every little amount helps.
Absolutely.
I've had times where I've gotten, a note from someone and I've donated. I've had $5 in my wallet, but every little bit helps. It's your heart that is what matters. That, that cheerful giving, and God will take what you give and bless that abundantly, as you have seen.
Absolutely.
So what is one of your biggest miracle moments that you've seen in your nonprofit journey?
Oh my goodness. There's so many. But the miracle moment on my most recent trip was, I would have to say, it was Francis, the gentleman on the floor. His story is absolutely heart-wrenching. He just basically was just treated as an animal. He lived in the home. They would just bring him bowls of food. He couldn't get up. He couldn't move. He couldn't do anything at all unless someone came. And he had been lying on the same exact mattress that was basically just become dust. And through just seeing him change over a matter of days, from getting the doctor there to see him, to getting him out of that dark room. And the saddest thing for me was when he was telling his story of how all this happened to him, that he was a vibrant 17-year-old boy and he fell in love and the mother wasn't having it. And, and sadly, some villages in some areas, they still practice black magic and things like that. And that affected him tremendously. And he became paralyzed. And he was given the son that he made the girl pregnant with it to raise, but his body slowly closed. And so through that, he had no electricity. The hardest story he tells was when the snakes would come in and lay on his body and he couldn't move to get them off. And he would just pray that they wouldn't bite him. And I just couldn't even with that. But now his testimony is that, yeah, I know.
You've got me with that. I don't like snakes. That oh my.
Yeah.
That would take the Holy Spirit power to help me.
Yes. But all that time that none ever attacked him. And
yeah, so it reminds me of Paul, of how Paul is protected in the Bible. So that very similar of Paul being protected.
Absolutely. Well, he now has his wheelchair. He has family that comes to visit him. We were able to install solar power. So he has lights so he can just right beside, and he has a new bed and new everything. His house is cleaned up, and we're just going to believe in his complete healing. And one other really great miracle that happened, we have a little girl, her name is Gloria, and Gloria has severe tumors, and she refused to go to school, and because the kids made fun of her and things like that. And while we were there, we needed to get her scans to make sure that they were not, they were even protruding from her ears. You can see her video on our website or on our Facebook pages. But I found that because the tumors were coming out her ears, that was a good thing. That meant that it wasn't putting pressure on her brain. And our doctor, Dr. Tony, got her scans, and we were thinking, oh my gosh, how are we going to raise this money? We need to get these scans. I put her video on my Facebook page while in Uganda. And in the night, she got enough money donated to have all of her scans. She does not have cancer. And now God. Yes. And through the video and all of that, and she is one of our other harmonics team member. His name is Timothy. One of the churches there in his area, in his wing, they reached out to him, and they are going to completely pay for all of her surgeries. And all they have, and it'll be an average, probably 3 surgeries. The first one is going to be the 22nd of this month, and the last one should be about the beginning of December. So, because she'll need time to heal between the surgeries. And her personality is, oh my goodness, she is the funniest, sweetest kid you'll ever meet. But, she has the tumors, and, her story is just precious and awesome and heartbreaking. And we cannot wait to see what God does on the other side of that.
Yeah, so God's going to use her in an incredible way to reach even more people. It's that light that Benji was talking about, the changing of generations, and that's so powerful.
Yes.
All right, we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back with more from my friend Tia.
I left my legal career to pursue a higher calling. What changes are you willing to make? My name is Carrie Reichertz, and I'm a Rising Star lawyer by the Milwaukee Magazine. And I left my rising legal career to make a difference in the world of girls in Kenya. The women I met forever changed my life. I returned to my job, and I realized it no longer served me. I knew he had something bigger in store for me. I was called to serve others. So I left my law to begin my own business. I founded 2 nonprofits, Operation Give Hope and Infinitely More Life. I also began teaching women who are overwhelmed when trying to start and grow their nonprofit, Ministering to Thrive. My first nonprofit, Operation Give Hope, tackles systematic spiritual, emotional, and financial poverty, afflicting young mothers in Mombasa, Kenya. and help sex trafficking victims heal. My second nonprofit, Infinitely More Life, operates globally and helps people recognize and reconcile life traumas by working with Christ. I have assisted hundreds in starting their own domestic and international nonprofits. Are you ready to leave behind the fear and doubt holding you back from starting the nonprofit God has called you to? Join the 8-week Christian Rocketeer Nonprofit Startup Certification. Remember, you are not leaving a career or a comfortable life. You are gaining purpose, passion, mission, and you will be changing the world. Join us today.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Christian Rocketeers podcast. Again, if you're just tuning in, I've got my friend Tia here today, and we're going to talk to you about how the Lord led her to meet some incredible young men called the Harmonics, who you're going to hear a little later, and what God did in that meeting and how he has grown it to what it is today. So welcome back, Tia. All right, so you somehow came in contact with these incredible young men that are the Harmonics. So what
Yes.
did that meeting look like, and how did you first meet them?
Well, they were here doing a tour for another ministry, and they needed host homes. So I was asked by the other person if I would be interested in hosting some gentlemen from Africa, and I didn't know what that looked like, but okay, sure. They're here during a tour, so I would love that. And so they ended up staying in my house for almost 3 weeks and then came back. And from there, we just became absolute family. We genuinely just loved each other. And then when their tour ended, our friendship and our relationship did not end. And I went to Uganda, and of course, my husband and I saw them, spent time with them, and we just became family. And then out of the blue, they, asked if we would be interested in having them partner with One Wing of Hope exclusively. And I was blown away. I couldn't believe that they had chosen us, especially we were, not as financially able to do things for them and with them that other ministries would be able to do. And Benji and a few of the other guys, they said, it's not about that, Mom. It's about your heart. It's about you being who you are and how much that we have become family at this point, and family helps family. And
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. Growing up, my mom used to host host organizations like you did with Benji and his team. And so that just touches my heart that God could bring something so much deeper from your willingness to say yes. You said yes to your nonprofit, and then you said yes to this, and now it's incredible what God is doing.
Yes, absolutely.
So when the Harmonics come to the United States and tour, what does that look like? What do you look for in a host church? What does that look like for you?
It looks like we will go wherever anybody wants us to go. When they were here before, they toured in Florida, they toured in Georgia, Mississippi, and even went to Texas and were on American Idol. And so when they come back, and we're hoping to have them back here within the next few months. And we already have my church, the Bridge Church here in Spring Hill, Tennessee. Our pastor was immediately, he said, Tia, we're all in. And that brings us back to fellowshipping and being around like-minded people, because not a lot of churches, they have so many ministries and stuff that they're already involved with. So when I walked up to my pastor and I said, this is what's happening, and are you interested? And he said, Tia, we are 100% all in with One Wing of Hope. And that's huge. That's just absolutely huge for me. So they're already going to be booked at our church, of course, and a few others in Nashville and in Tupelo, Mississippi, and hopefully Jacksonville, Florida. And we hope to get them booked in as many places as possible to raise funds for our kids and also for them, because they're giving up their entire lives to come here. And we plan to do an 18-month tour at this point. And again, they give up everything. They give up their homes, and most of them have rented homes. But they come here because they have family struggles. One of the guys in particular, he is the sole caregiver for his siblings. Both of his parents have passed on, and two of them are in university, and he comes here to make money to send back to them, as well as care for himself. And each one of them, they all have their stories that, they're either taking care of a mom, or they're taking care of siblings, or just trying to make better for their own lives, as well as their particular cell or wing within One Wing of Hope.
Incredible. So when they come to the United States, do you look for host homes, or does the church, what does that look like? Do we need?
For instance, if your church wants to have them perform, then you will be my point of contact, and I will say, Shawnee, are there host homes? Because there's a lot of us. There's 8 of us total. So when they stayed here, there was another home in our neighborhood that 4 of them stayed with them, 4 of them stayed here, but they all ended up coming over here, but would sleep wherever they could find. But that's what it is. Each host home absolutely doesn't want them to leave ever. And they make forever families and contacts with whoever they stay with, and they just become family. And so that's what that looks like. We do not charge at all for them to perform at the church. It's love offering only. And just hopefully the host homes will love them as much as we do, and enjoy their performances. They're always asked back wherever they go.
Oh, definitely. And I can see why. And later, we've already gotten to record with Benji, and you guys will hear that in a bit. His love for Jesus just shines through, and I'm sure that is through every member of the group. So if someone wants to book them, they obviously go to your website. Do they have a CD available so you can keep playing?
Yes. We do. We have clips of their music. We have videos. And Benji, he has a lot of personal videos that he continues to do his music in Uganda. But there are many. They have a Facebook page. They have a website. There are videos on One Wing of Hope's website, as well as the Facebook pages. And so you can hear them on YouTube. You can hear them, just pretty much anywhere that in any social medias. But I will be glad to send you some of their videos so you can look.
Yeah, I'd love to link to those in the comments below. All right, my friend. Well, what is the biggest piece of advice you would give to someone who says, I want to start a nonprofit?
Oh my gosh, the biggest piece of advice that I would give anybody is don't struggle. There is help. There is people that can help you. You guys have an amazing program that I'm looking forward to delving into deeply. But the main thing is don't struggle. Don't try to figure this out on your own.
Yeah.
There's help. There's lots of resources, and I wish I had known about the resources. And
that's what Carrie says. She's like, I wish I would have had our program when I first got started. What I love too is, with our program, is everything is in there for you, because Carrie did struggle in the beginning. It took her years of that back and forth journey that you had to get the nonprofit up and running. And I know I struggled a little bit too with kind of the, God, did you really call me to this vision and mission? And Carrie's a lawyer over here. She ran this for, umpteen years. And you're asking me, this mom of 12 kids, to step in and, I'm over here. I like my little box, and we like our little boxes. But, when we have the pieces and parts, it flows. And it's the Holy Spirit working in it. And what I love about what we do First of all, I love being a coach. I found it's my passion to help people with their nonprofit and to empower them to do what God's called them to do. And second, I love that they're getting even better results than we did when we first started. It's like, wow, God, like you just want to knock our socks off over here. I was telling you, I remember in our last conversation, we had someone get a full kitchen donated. We've had people raise
Wow.
$7,000 from a family and friends letter. We've had people want to speak at events that, this nonprofit is 2 months old, but yet you've got a football player's wife willing to come and speak at the event. It's truly the Holy Spirit and truly the Lord, and I love it so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So what's your biggest takeaway? What has God taught you in your nonprofit journey so far that's helped you grow more as a believer?
Gosh, just watching everything that he has put together, every person that he has put together, every puzzle piece, and just fellowshipping more with him through learning, through just seeing some of the hard things. Like I said earlier, I'm a kingmaker, not a king, and the things that the Lord has allowed me to see, that I'm quite the girly girl. Anybody will tell you that. I'm glitter and bows. And for me to lay down all of that and walk in things and in areas that I would have never imagined, it's been very humbling. And I've found my place. And my place is not behind a microphone. It's not behind a desk. It's not behind any of that. It's out hugging children and swinging with them on stick swings, and that's where I find God. And he has taught me that it's okay to ask for help. And I guess the main thing this morning when I was praying, the Lord, I was like, Lord, but I want things now. And I see this other ministry, they're doing this other ministry, they're doing that. And the Lord said that we do things at our own pace, and we do things in my timing, not yours. And so that's one thing that I've had to learn, is that it's not my timing, and to be more patient.
And, I've done that. I've looked at other ministries and I've said, well, God, this one's so far along. And then he tells me, well, you look, and it took them 10 years to get to where they are. There's blood, sweat, and tears that go into building a nonprofit ministry to be sustainable. And the one thing I'd tell you to encourage you is it's your incredible journey, like you said, that he's called you to. And I know it's going to be bigger and more than you can ask, think, or imagine, just from your heart and your passion and the team behind you. And as you let the Holy Spirit lead you, as you do, God will bring all that you need. Where can people connect with you for One Wing of Hope?
One Wing of Hope, www.onewingofhope.com. One Wing of Hope on Facebook, One Wing of Hope on Instagram, and also through the Harmonics, and they also have websites and Instagram. And so we can be found if you just type into your search engine One Wing of Hope. We're the first ones that pop up. So
I hope you have enjoyed this incredible episode of the Christian Rocketeers podcast. You can find us at christianrocketeers.com. If you're thinking of starting a nonprofit and God is calling you and leading you in that direction, we are the team to help you do that faster, quicker, and through the Holy Spirit. I'm Shawnee Pankasik, and we'll see you again next week. Bye, everyone.